dag, they really did scrap like Joe Pesci's character from Goodfellas. You know, they was like, oh yeah, we're gonna give you this opportunity. Brought him into the project room, and Rock was there to blow his head off. Hey, what's going on, folks? It's another episode of Just My Opinion with Ryan, with yours truly. And we are going to talk about Power, Raising Kanan, Season 2, Episode 2. And you're not mistaken, I didn't really do the first episode. One, I got tied up with so many things. By the time I got around to it, I felt like dropping that episode would have been a little too late. But nevertheless, we're going to start with Episode 2 this time around. And you see the pop-up, do me a huge favor, help me get to 1,000 subscribers. I am very grateful for the subscribers that I do have so far, so let's keep it going. I enjoyed this episode. This episode starts with Detective Howard, who was played by Omar Epps, talking to Rock. And I believe the actress's name is Patina Miller, who has been doing a great job as Rock. I'm really loving that. And on the side note, I'm liking how there are just certain power shows that has, you know, a female or a woman as like the head of these, you know, family kingpin type, you know, families. You know, in the Power with Tariq, for example, Mary J. Blige is killing it. So in this time around, as I said, Patina Miller is really killing that role as Rock, being, you know, the person in charge. But I do feel like Rock is wrong in this situation. This episode starts out with Omar Epps, Detective Howard, you know, just confronting Rock about, hey, I gotta let Kanan know that he's my son, you know, whether you like it or not. I gave you a chance to do it, you didn't want to, so you know, my hands are tied. You leave me no choice but to let Kanan know that I'm his dad. And I feel like he's in the right. You know, he even went as far as to get like a official paternity test, you know, got like, what he said, I think got blood from Kanan after he picked him up from a fight or something like that. So the proof is all there. But, you know, and granted, yeah, they're both on the opposite sides of the law. You know, you got Rock doing her thing, and, you know, Detective Howard is clearly a police officer. So I do, you know, that's really what's kind of clouding Rock's judgment. But nevertheless, I feel like she still has the right to let the truth be known. And so I didn't like it, as we see later on in the episode, that Rock is still manipulating Kanan in a sense, you know, letting Kanan know that, you know, if you run into that detective, he might say some wild stuff. You know, trying to just put that doubt in his head not to believe Detective Howard. So, yeah, she's all the way wrong with that one. Not really feeling that. And now, like I said, there are in some cases, you know, in certain cases, yeah, it is. I can understand why a mother would not want their son to know who their father was, especially if that father is like dangerous or can be harmful or abusive. But this is clearly not the case with Detective Howard. You know, his life was flashing before his eyes, and I truly feel like he wants to just right any type of wrongs that he was doing. Now, granted, he wanted Kanan to know that he's his dad ever since season 1. So now that he had this near-death experience, that's further inspiring him to let Kanan know that he's the father. So yeah, I'm not feeling Rock with that one. Also, we do have another person who I'm not feeling, at least so far. Kanan's homeboy, Famous. Famous is, you know, he got like that small taste of, you know, some type of a buzz of season 1 when he came out with the song, you know, Streets is Hungry or something like that. But ever since then, he's just been like a weed head, lays around in the house all day, whatever the case is. You know, he out here bringing random, you know, women to his mom's crib, and clearly gets caught because he's so high that he has to suffer a nipple twist before he even wakes up. So, but nevertheless, you know, I'm really hoping things get better. In terms of the storyline with Fame, we do see that, you know, he gets kicked out the house, rightfully so. But with that said, you know, he needs to find a place to stay. And he's trying to, you know, bring Kanan along for the ride and see if they can sell mixtapes, which in this whole episode, that was a no-go. Definitely no-go. As a matter of fact, dang, just rewind a little bit. In addition to dropping that news about wanting to be his father, we also do see that he lets Rock know that they may have a snitch in their organization. You know, lets him know that he saw Scrap, you know, talking to the cops and whatnot, and it's just not a good look because yeah, he gets snatched up for the whole gambling thing, and in addition to that, he gets out pretty quickly, and so that's just not a good look at all. And we'll get to more of that storyline later on. One of my, well, I won't say my favorite character, but I think one of the funniest characters on the show, just because he's just straight up ignorant, is Marvin. Marvin has been funny to me ever since he, you know, was mad at his at Jukebox for being one of those Lebanese women. You know, that's his words, not mine. But you see him in the anger management class, even still, you know, ruffling feathers. You know, he doesn't want to open up, which is, you know, not surprising. You know, he thought he could just sign the sheet and leave. So, you know, I don't think there's going to be some type of drastic change with Marvin. I feel like what we see in these first 2 episodes is what we're going to get throughout the whole season in terms of that anger management. He's going to sit down and just go through the motions and just, waste I guess an hour of his time or something, since he's not going to do the work. But that was funny, him getting under the guy's skin. The one dude was like, you know, I hate being ignored. So when it was Marvin's time to open up, he was like, I'm fine, I don't need any help. And then we see how that how he ruffled the dude's feather. He was like, I'm ignoring you, Gerald, because I know you love that shit. And so every time he kept trying to talk to him, he was like, I'm still gonna ignore you because you ain't worth my time, or whatever else he was saying. I thought that was funny. That actor, you know, I remember him from Ballers, featuring The Rock, and you know, I'm just loving to see these opportunities with him. He's been a dope person so far. I hope he continues to get more roles, because I've liked everything he's been in so far, from Ballers and now this. Now they do have a family meeting. You know, speaking of, you know, conversation, you know, since we're bringing up Rock and Marvin, they do have a meeting. You know, a family meeting, if you will, where Rock, Marvin, and Lou, you know, they definitely, you know, set up a meeting with Unique's right-hand man, Worrell. Especially with the rumors, you know, looming around about Scrap being a snitch anyway. It seems like they was gonna do this anyway, because from the first episode, they definitely was talking about, you know, trying to turn some of the people underneath, you know, against them. And so who else better than the right-hand man? Brought him in and told him that, you know, about the whole operation, about, you know, they're pretty much, hey, if you've seen the first episode, they're not even messing around selling on the corner anymore. They moved it into the project buildings. They pretty much damn near buy, you know, have the whole apartment on a payroll to some degree. Even the tenants, you know, maybe not like a salary, of course, but like, hey, you know, buy, you know, the tenants, you know, their groceries. If they need medicine, make sure they get it. So it's almost like, we're gonna do this so you don't snitch on us, but at the same time, we're damn near gonna turn these buildings into like the Carter, basically. Have people coming in. So it's like a big ass crack house project apartment thing they got going on. But I'm digressing. And you know, Worrell actually agrees to it. He was hesitant or reluctant, rightfully so, especially when you see that Worrell and Lou was beefing from season 1. But he accepts taking over, like, I guess, like another project building and turning that into like a crack house type operation as well. So they're just, you know, they literally are continuing this progress of moving it from the block to just, we're just gonna start moving work throughout these project buildings, and that's what we're seeing. And so, as I mentioned, Marvin has been tasked with the job to find out if Scrap is really a snitch. So they have like a, kind of like a small talk or dialogue. Marvin is, I didn't know if Scrap was wearing a wire or not, because I was really trying to pay attention to the dialogue between those two. And if you notice, like, Marvin would say some stuff like, "Hey man, I tried to hit you up last night. Couldn't get in contact with you. Where were you, man?" And I just felt like Scrap seemed like he was too quick to talk about like drug related activities. He's like, "Oh man, what I'm saying, I was with my cousin hanging some stuff up on the wall, man. You should have got Warrell. I see y'all giving Warrell work when I was the one putting in work. I was the one putting in these blocks. I was the one selling drugs." I really felt like that was that was done on purpose. And I felt like Marvin may have picked up on it a little bit. Like, you notice he just kept having small talk about more details about the person that he claimed to hang stuff on the wall for. It's like he never really was responding or elaborating on the type of complaints, drug related complaints that Scrap had. So I thought that was interesting. So I thought maybe that Detective Howard was right just because of that in the first place. And another thing, we do have a new character that's into the mix now. We have what's his name, Cartier Fareed. He is apparently the uncle, or I guess play uncle, of the new artist that Lou has discovered. Once again, she goes by Zizzy or Sizzy. And yeah, I just don't, too early to tell, but don't know what to quite make of that just yet. But he's definitely coming in, calling shots. Apparently, Lou and Fareed have known each other in the past, some way or somehow. I'm sure that's gonna come into play as the season goes along. But I did find it interesting that that Lou really didn't have any pushback. It was almost like Fareed had his demands if they want to work with this woman, and Lou just kind of went along with it. I don't know if like Fareed was like some intimidating gangster in the past. I mean, I know they said like his money is clean, that you can eat off it and all those stuff, but whatever type of past that Lou and Fareed had, I wonder if it's just like, if like Fareed is like this, power version of like Suge Knight or something. I don't know, but we'll see how that goes. And one thing I did realize, I guess one of the reoccurring themes was definitely, just finding out the truth about, who your biological parents are. We kind of see that Jukebox was going through the same thing. Clearly wants to find out who her mother is, and then even earlier in that episode, Jukebox is asking these questions to Rock about it. And, Rock just letting it be known that, hey, some people aren't built to be mothers. You are a great person, and your biological mother is missing out. I love the relationship that Rock and Jukebox has. It's, you definitely can tell like Rock is, like Jukebox really looks up to Rock. Like that's like the only other female in the family, and being that she's the only other woman in the family, she is the boss woman. So I think that's like inspirational for Jukebox to even witness. But yeah, I liked how there's that reoccurring theme. She gets with the help of Detective Shannon Burke, she does find information about at least where her biological mother lives. And I thought she was going to confront her, but I guess we'll see that later on in the season. So hopefully that goes well in terms of that. And speaking of Jukebox, I'm still worried for her. Apparently she's not out of the woodworks yet. The grieving mother from last season, after Jukebox girlfriend, took some bad drugs that fell out of Jukebox's book bag or whatever the case is. She's still out for blood. And who knows? Hey, you definitely can feel her pain. I mean, this is a grieving mother, lost her child. For all she knows, that's her perspective, that's her story. Even though that's not what happened. But boy, in this case for Jukebox, ain't nothing scarier than, a white woman who just is looking for that type of justice. And so, I don't know. I feel like she's gonna find some other loophole to really jam Jukebox up. Maybe even have like a lawsuit against the police department for like dropping any type of charges on Jukebox. She's out here demanding that the Detective Burke get fired. So that mother of that woman, the mother of that, that mother's gonna be dangerous. That's all I know. And another person that I really enjoy in his show, only because I known him as the rapper first, but Joey Badass has been killing his role as Neek. And so I feel like he is definitely on, just like he's in the zone as of late. I mean, he's always been a great rapper, but his recent album, 2000, is amazing. You can damn near listen to that album all the way through. And he's still doing his thing in Raising Kanan. So I'm really loving how certain rappers can actually use rap as a stepping stone and create bigger and better opportunities for himself. And Joey Badass has made it known on a number of occasions that he's really appreciating his these actor checks, and I'll just leave it at that. For some references, just go listen to some of his music, and you'll definitely hear what I'm talking about. In terms of the character Neek, this episode definitely was a bad one for Neek. Neek is out here struggling. After he got out of jail, Neek is, his whole team is in shambles. Warrell abandoned ship. He's trying to spend time, quality time with his son, and I guess the mother of, the mother of his baby mother doesn't want him in the house. All this other stuff. Dean doesn't want anything to do with him. Dean is just like the peaceful, drug connect that is in spends all his time with his grandmother playing bingo. And so nobody wants to touch Neek. Neek is radioactive. Even though he's found innocent, clearly the police still want, they still feel like Neek has something to do with the shooting of Detective Howard. And so there's just too much heat on Neek right now, and it's really doing him bad. So you know how the saying goes, desperate times calls for desperate measures. And so I really feel like, Neek is going to do something drastic to go ahead and make some moves, create some waves and get back on his feet in terms of, recovering some drug territory or seeing how the game is being played and stuff like that. And that was another thing I didn't know what to make out of. I mean, clearly we see that Neek's baby mother, comes back and lets Neek know that he ran into Rock at the bodega, and they just had that kind of a stare off, and yeah, that really shook the baby mother. And so who knows what that means. I'm not sure if she clearly felt scared. Rock is no one to be played with, and I really feel like, being that Neek is kind of backed into the corner, his team is gone. Oh yeah, and his storefront got ran through. He's being looked down upon like he's some deadbeat dude, from the baby's mother. So I feel like he's going to lash out somehow in some way that's not going to be good for Rock's team. And also, there was kind of like not cordial, but definitely the inevitable breakup between Lou and his girl, famous sister. The name escapes me at the moment. But yeah, so that went down bad. She got a job offer in California thanks to Crown, and that part I'm not really interested in. The thing I want to know is, I really felt like maybe Lou has put two and two together anyway, and is realizing that, damn, so Crown just gave you this job for no damn reason, huh? I think Lou is smarter than that and realize what's going on, and I feel like he may try to I think put Crown away. I think he might try to put him down under for that, just off that principle alone, So we'll see where that goes. The way the episode ended was definitely predictable, I guess, is the best way I could put it. With all that intel and everything and research in terms of Scrap, it just didn't look good for Scrap. He already lied about his whereabouts because he didn't want to say he was locked up. And they got that type of intel from Howard. And dag, they really did Scrap like Joe Pesci's character from Goodfellas. You know, they was like, oh yeah, we're gonna give you this opportunity. Brought him into the project room, and Rock was there to blow his head off. So once again, I don't think Howard was wrong. I don't think they killed the wrong guy. I do think Scrap was snitching, or because he got out pretty fast. He got out really fast after being wrapped up in that illegal gambling thing. And on top of that, the only thing Howard was wrong for is clearly just giving intel to criminals in the first place. So let's see what happens. Next episode. I apologize if this one was a little long-winded. Just trying to make up and really get all the details that I could think of. So love it or hate it, folks. These are just my opinions. Peace.